David Tepper bought the Carolina Panthers for more than $2 billion in 2018, which is pretty interesting because he's a huge Steeler fan. Anyway, I guess
it's the way in. Look, all of these guys have their teams they love, but these franchises don't come up very often.
Right. There he is. Well, it looks like he's a Panthers fan now for sure, becoming the NFL's richest owner. He hasn't been shy about splashing the cash around, promising to build a new world-class practice facility for the team. Just recently signed rookie head coach Matt Rhule to a $60 million contract. According to our own Jabari Young, the other NFL owners are not too happy about the spending spree. Joining us now is Jabari joins us. He's a CNBC.com sports business reporter. I can see that. I can see how the coaches, it raises the bar.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them. I mean, Belichick, he's 12, right? And
Pete's around 11.
The Seahawks.
Yeah. Sean Payton, Mike Tomlin around the 10 area.
Gruden?
Gruden is about around an 8, 10, 10 mark because he's $100 million for 10 years.
Yeah.
$100 million for 10 years. I mean, that was phenomenal. But,
these these owners, none of them can block. None of them, right? None of them can. Everything they get, shouldn't they just be happy? They got this great thing going on. They got these unbelievably profitable businesses. What are they whining about this money?
Listen, there's nothing that owners want more. If you're an owner of anything, then more money. And if I can win by paying somebody less, then that's fine.
Then what's the problem? Why are they mad about this particular?
Listen, every last billionaire, when you look at the history of sports, when they come into an industry, they always try to make their mark. Remember when Dan Snyder bought the Redskins? Yeah. Came in, signed Deion Sanders, all that money, Bruce Smith, all of those guys. And Mark Cuban the same way. Bought the Mavericks, came in, made a splash. I mean, one time he sent limousines to people's houses just so they can get to the game safely because it was a night storm. And he just made his mark. He went around town promoting. They all try to make their mark, right? David Stern fined the heck out of Mark Cuban because he was opening his mouth. He was the guy that was on camera talking all the time. David Tepper's trying to do it his way.
Did they eventually all kind of tamp down where, okay, I've been doing this for a while, it's more business as usual? Or do some of them really stick around and have that same sort of level of enthusiasm the whole way through?
Well, I think they learned the business. I think Mark Cuban is phenomenal. He learned the business. He understood what he could or could not do. Remember, one of his first moves, he went and signed Dennis Rodman. He's 38, and he got kicked out of the league.
Forgot about that.
Right. So he tried to make his mark. David Tepper's trying to do the same thing. Now, if Matt Rhule goes and the Carolina Panthers win a Super Bowl, David Tepper looks like the new guy that came on the block and showed the NFL owners, look, I'm the rich guy. I know how to do it. If Matt Rhule loses, then he just looks like the guy who just came and bought a toy.
He doesn't make as much as some of the other coaches, but he's never coached the game.
He's never. And listen, all those coaches we talked about before, they got one thing in common. They won Super Bowls. They are established NFL head coaches. So he comes in,
but he says this guy's going to be here, Tepper says, for 30 to 40 years.
Well, you said he's a Steelers fan, right? So if he's going and building that team off of the Art Rooney model and he's keeping coaches in place and letting him do that, that's fine. But we'll see if David Tepper, folds under fire if Matt Rhule doesn't get off to a good start for the first
But you know what? I like the idea of being a long-term owner and making long-term decisions. That comes back to investing, right? If you are an owner who can look out and deal with the long term, you can make much better decisions than trying to do earnings season to earnings season.
Man, listen, I covered the Spurs for my career, and you want to talk about somebody that puts emphasis on longevity, it's them. Greg Popovich, the longest tenured head coach in professional sports.
$11 million a year.
Not 11, 12, but I think Poppy lying sometimes about his money. But now, if you're Greg Popovich, and if I'm any of the NFL head coach, if I'm Bill Belichick, and I see Matt Rhule just came into the league without having winning one game, and he's making 8 to 10. I'm looking at my owner like, hey, Mr. Kraft, it's time to bump me to the 20s. Right. This rookie can't be near me. I can't have this. It's an ego thing, too.
I like the owners. I'm not trying to take side bet, smallest violin in the world.
I can see that.
Imagine how I felt researching this story. They're talking millions and millions. And I look at my check, I'm getting fractions of that.
But are their profit margins at risk now because Rhule gets...
It's profit margins, but not in that way. It's profit margins for the head coaches. Look, they get an increase.
You want to win, you gotta, you want to play, you gotta pay.
But you gotta pay for the right guy. We don't know if Matt Rhule's the right guy.
I wonder how he knows it's the right guy. Huh?
Are any of these guys losing money doing that?
Not anymore.
Well, the NFL,
not after draft
owners can look at it and say, listen, we had a precedent. We said, because these new rookie head coaches, they usually come in about 4-year deals. Right. Cheap money. They got to prove themselves. What David Tepper did is went and got an inexperienced guy, and I like Matt Rhule. He's a Temple guy like me. I like the guy. But to give him that amount of money and that amount of years without having proven anything, That's kind of, if I was an owner, I would be upset too, because you're messing up the business.
This is like Netflix.
If I was Belichick, I'd be upset.
This is what Netflix did to TV.
Right.
They started just, taking new guys off the street,
right.
Giving them, full seasons off, no pilot episode first.
Who do people want in the Super Bowl?
I know who I want.
What's best for TV? What's best for
49ers?
49ers
I think
versus
the 49ers and the Chiefs would be phenomenal because you have a young. It would be good for business. You have a young quarterback and Patrick Mahomes going up against one of your oldest teams in the NFL, the San Francisco 49ers. And by the way, the Kansas City fan base that's a good fan base down there. So you're winning all around.